Today on episode 477 of I Am Salt Lake Podcast, we get a chat with our new friend Ruben, the owner and founder of the Bomb Dilla Food Truck. Oh my gosh, this guy has such an amazing story. We got to talk to him about what motivated him to start the Bomb Dilla Food Truck. Of course, business obstacles that he had to overcome. And of course, we got into depth on his amazing quesadillas. We're going to get into that here in just a second.
But before we get into that conversation, I think we should introduce ourselves. I'm Chrissy Hollifield.
Hey, what's up? My name's Chris Hollifield.
And I married him. And if you're a longtime listener of this podcast, you probably knew that. And thanks for joining us again. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, you might be wondering what it's all about. Well, we're here every week with a brand new episode where we get to showcase awesome people who live in and around Salt Lake City and the surrounding areas. We get to talk to business owners, authors, tattoo artists, restaurant owners, really anyone that might have a cool story to share.
All right, I Am Salt Lakers. Are you guys ready for this story, the story of the Bomb Dilla Food Truck? Here's that conversation that we had with Ruben, the face behind the food truck. This one's good, you guys. Enjoy. Let's start at the beginning, man. Tell us how. Now, well, actually, is it Bomb Dilla or Bomb Dilla?
Dilla.
Oh yeah, this is important.
You know what? Yes, no, this is very, very important. This is something that we should definitely start out. So yes, it's Bomb Dilla. And I'm going to go ahead, and if you're okay with it, I'm going to jump into how that name started.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm also just going to say I was right, because Bomb Dilla sounds cooler than Bomb Dilla.
Yes. And believe me, and I looked into like the encyclopedia, the dictionary. How can I spell Bomb Dilla? Like, is there a different, am I missing like a silent letter into it? But no, I mean, everywhere I've looked, Bomb Dilla, quesadilla, I know like Dilla, but I'm like, you know what? It's Bomb Dilla.
The name, so that's the story kind of behind the name?
How it originated, so I'm not from Salt Lake. I moved here 5 years ago, and I was brought here because I was just kind of done with LA. I was taken in through the ringer, born and raised in the San Fernando Valley. And just, it's a rough place where, not so much rough where we grew up, but, everybody has their different stories of how they were raised, where were they brought up and all that stuff. But me in general, just, living, I felt like I was just in this cycle of working, and then just, working my tail off and not really going anywhere. So, I moved here. And decided I was working for a corporate company delivering uniforms. There was a local company called G&K. They got bought out by Cintas Corporation. So I was working with them for about a year and a half. And then I kind of moved up in the ranks within that company, became a salesperson. And that's when the whole transition of they were being bought out by Cintas Corporation. Then, we were getting tossed around like rag dolls. No sense of direction. Everybody's like, oh, just wait. And I came across this little U-Haul food truck out here in the city of Layton. And it just, for some reason, it just felt right. And just something like, you know what? I've always been passionate about the kitchen. If it wasn't for football, food is my comfort zone. The kitchen is my domain, is where I feel most at ease. Or if I'm ever stressed out or anything like that, I hop in the kitchen, and that's where I just let everything go. And that's just kind of where I just kind of go, and it's literally my comfort zone, and also it's also my place where I love to be in, and I love to entertain people and see people smile through food, So I know we're kind of a little all around here. So
no, that's the joy of a podcast, man.
Yeah,
that's the joy of a podcast. Is jumping all around.
I'm like listening to I'm hanging on your every word, but I have to know.
Cool.
How did you pick quesadilla based idea for a food truck?
With my story of LA, so I had a business partner in Los Angeles. I started cooking for this gentleman when I came out of high school. He owned a hot dog joint in the Valley, and really good guy. Just took me under his wing. Since day one, he always told me, Ruben, you have this energy. You have this. There's something about you that one day I know you're going to either open up one of my restaurants or you're going to do something great for yourself. And, at 19, 18 years old, I didn't really think much about it. I was just kind of like, okay, cool. Like I love the kitchen. Give me an opportunity. I'll wash dishes, whatever, to kind of get myself going. At the age of 25, I got a phone call, or 26, got a phone call that he's like, hey, you ready to start your own restaurant? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, I want to open up my second location. I thought of you. And I was like, okay, great. Heck yeah, let's, well, what's on the table? He's like, well, I have you and my nephew that I want you guys to open this place up. It was in Sierra Madre, California, which was just like 20 minutes from the valley of North Hollywood, where he had his first location. Long story short, I got into it. My mom, I might say a lot about my mom because she is the person that always believed in me to this day. And she actually believed in me and went to open up this restaurant where, I had maybe less than $5,000 in my own personal savings. And when I was given this opportunity to partner up and to be in this food restaurant with this gentleman, I needed, around $25,000. So my mom, out of anything, she's like, son, I'll believe in you. I know you're going to go doing good things, even though I didn't know I knew who the owner was, but I didn't know who his nephew was. And that was kind of the curveball of me jumping into this.
Were you guys business partners? Like you were a business partner with his nephew?
Correct. So that was kind of the thing. He's like, you guys are going to pay me a percentage, but this is your business partner. XX name. And, for a kid that has immigrant parents that came to this country to pursue a better life, just to try to get us from, raising us to be where we are today. My mom, like I said, she pretty much pulled out her life savings and was like, here, son, go open up your restaurant. I know one day you'll give it back to me. I know you're gonna do great things. And
that's so badass, by the way. Shout out to your mom. Holy cow.
Yeah. My mom is she's everything to me. Because I wouldn't be here where I'm at. We've come from the lowest of lows, and we're still climbing this mountain. I still have a mission. I know, and I'm on a mission right now to continue to grow what I have now. But long story short, that business partner lasted only 4 months after my family and I went in and day out to literally take a sushi restaurant, and it was pretty much disgusting down to the ground zero. We converted it. We put in hours of labor work. I had my family in there helping us out. And again, my mom, she's just a hardworking person that came from nothing, and she gave me her life savings to start something. And for that to be taken away in less than 4 months was something really, really hard for me. And I'll never forget that. And I think that's where a lot of my drive comes to this day of where I'm at in my life. Everything I do, I'm hungry. And I think about the opportunity that I was given. And in less than 4 months, it was taken away from me. I just show up one day and he's like, hey, I don't think this is going to work out. Here's your half of your cut. Here's your money that you invested in, let's part ways. And, he came from a family that's been business background for many years. All his uncles, everybody's business lawyer. Like they have all their structural things in play, where me, I'm a kid that was given an opportunity and I didn't know much or how to go about, well, what do I do from here? I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I guess I got to call a lawyer and just be like, okay, well, I'm going to take this money and you know what? Cool. Like, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to fight, So, ended up parting ways. We kind of, did all the legal things, just, make sure, and come to find out the dude didn't even last a year. That's all I know. We signed a year, and within that year, he shut down the restaurant. And, and everybody tells me to this day, he's like, Ruben, it's because you weren't in there. It's because this, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. I
probably didn't realize how difficult it would be without you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is what it is, but that's where I'm here now in Utah. I decided to leave LA just to pursue a better life for my future of my little one. I'm married, so I definitely want a good future for my wife, my kids, my future kids. I've had family here for over 10 years that have been here in Utah, and they've always told me, hey, come up to Utah, you know? And I decided to move here I had a pretty good job in LA after that. I was able to go back to my 9 to 5. But the crazy thing, even to this day, of why I moved to Utah for a $13 an hour job, which is still crazy to me. And it always minds blowing me. And I look back at it, I'm like, I literally decided to leave within 7 days and leave Los Angeles and leave, everything I had going on. I also had like I did Hollywood security for 7 years also on the side with me and my buddy right after high school. So yeah, I'm a fluffy guy. I had a nice body at one point in my life, but now, married life, it changes you. But yeah, so I did that for many years after also high school, just kind of my little side hustle to kind of get me through where not my regular 9 to 5. So I did that for many years. But yeah, I decided just to literally, like, it's crazy how everything just fell into place. Like, I literally told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to Utah. I found a dry cleaning service job where I'm going to just go and deliver uniforms and we'll see where that goes.
That is so cool. That's like the ultimate, we're just going to try something. Let's go do it.
Yeah, like let's go do it. Like I'm over LA. I'm done. I love my city. It's the city that made me, and believe me, like it's who I am. Like I love my home. I love California, but I was like, you know what? Like I want something better. I want something better. And I literally decided to. I still remember everything. How I told my fiance at the time where I told, like, hey, I'm going to Utah. I got a job, and I think this is going to be good for us. And she just rolled with it. We rolled with it. And I was able to come.
Yeah.
Lucky, very lucky. And
man, that's awesome.
Supportive. Yeah, she supported me. She has supported me even through my crazy quesadillas, through all my craziness. But yeah, so we were here. I came here and, was doing the corporate job for a year and a half. And then, like I said, I this company was being bought out. And for some reason, like I said, I've always had that dream of opening up something again or doing something on my own because I love food. Everything about me is food. I love entertaining. I love making people happy through food. So I found that truck in Layton one day. And once again, we were here for we had moved out here 6 months after that, after we did the whole wedding thing. So it's been like, I got promoted within a year from that company. Then I got moved up to sales, and then we were going through that tossing and turning. And then I saw that truck and I was just like, man, I couldn't stop thinking about this truck. And then once again, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I want to start a food truck business. Like I want to do it again, but this time it's by myself. And, Lord behold, like she was like, dude, son, do it, please. Like, let's do it. Let's go for it. Whatever you need, we're here to back you up, And once again, my mom was like, here you go. I'll help you out with whatever I can. We just recently got married. I found out I was having a kid on the way.
Congratulations, by the way.
What I'm saying? Yeah, thanks. So it was crazy. And we just went for it. And, from day and night, I started thinking, what am I going to do in this food truck? And there was actually a video that I saw of a gentleman back in LA. He's actually called All Flavor, No Grease, a kid from Compton. And he started making quesadillas from his front yard. Basic quesadillas, just quesadillas.
Like right in his front yard? Like
just
like
right in his front yard.
Yeah.
Dude, I would totally go buy those though.
Yeah. He, he was just a dude, and started doing things. And social media is free advertisement. A lot of people don't understand how social media, Instagram, Facebook, that is free advertisement all day long. And a gentleman that started from selling quesadillas in his front yard to the guy has blown up, all because of a social media post. And I started thinking, okay, what am I going to do out here? And then I'm like, man, quesadillas. Quesadillas are so universal. It's like a hamburger. It's like a pizza. You can fill them up with anything that you could imagine. Like if you imagine it, you could throw it in a quesadilla. So, one day I just started thinking like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to what do I want to do? And I was like, quesadillas. And I literally overnight just started playing with things in the kitchen. And I came up with 5 quesadillas. And then I'm like, okay, I think this is what we're going to do.
It sounds like you need to come to our house at dinner time. Is what I'm thinking.
I'll be more than happy to have you guys over my house. Or we come over your house, man, and cook. Like I said, I love entertaining. I love cooking. But
that's so cool.
Yeah, so we started Bomb Dilla 4 years ago. Bomb Dilla the name came about. I literally walked into the downtown Salt Lake City where you register your business. I walked in there knowing that I was going to register my business. And I walk in and the lady tells me, "What's your business name?" And I'm like looking at her kind of dumbfounded. I'm like, good question. Let me be right back. and I go outside the building and I immediately call my wife and I'm like, babe, I'm here. I'm about to register our name. What are we going to call our business? She's like, well, quesadillas. And then she's like, your food is bomb. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, my food's bomb. And quesadillas. And then she's like, Bomb Dilla quesadilla. Yes, and I'm like, I love it. I'm like, Bomb Dilla. You should say, yeah. And she's like, Bomb Dilla. And I'm like, done. Say no more. Bomb Dilla. So and I walk back up those stairs. And then I'm like, Bomb Dilla, man. She's like, go ahead and type it in that computer. See if anybody owns that name here in Utah or anything. And lo and behold, Bomb Dilla came about. And, we got Bomb Dilla rolling. I parked outside my cousin's house kind of when I started brainstorming my things. I fed 50 of his neighbors with my ideas that, I had that I wanted to bring out here. And we did a little comment box on what was good, what was bad, what can I improve on or anything like that. And I literally did not find, I maybe found one bad comment out of the 50, but it was maybe just for presentation purpose, but everybody was just blown away. And I'm just like, well, I think I'm going to just run with it and not look back. And, 4 years later, we're here. Bomb Dilla literally started in Bountiful on 500 West, I think it is. I used to park next to a McDonald's. I didn't know where to go, what to do. I just knew I wanted to get my name out there. And I literally started next to a McDonald's. And I always told myself, it's crazy how people can go through these chain restaurants and knowing how fast and like they're on a time crunch, but they can wait through a drive-through service and maybe get a semi-cooked meal or like not so warm food and they're on the go. So I told myself, I'm like, you know what? If I park here every day, I guarantee I'm going to just get one person maybe to come one day. Then the second person will maybe come. And I stuck that out for literally almost 6 months. Where there would be days where I would make less than $100. Like I wouldn't make anything all day because people would see this little U-Haul box truck and probably quesadillas are like, I'm not going to go. Or McDonald's is faster. And then little by little, I started having people coming little by little. And then social media started getting into play. People started reposting this and this. And, my name started to get out there. And then, I kind of got some help also from Big Buddha from Fox 13. He's actually an LA native. So, he did a little segment for me and then that blew up. And, little by little, it came from us parking in a corner, me not knowing that if Utah's going to grasp to the crazy ideas that I have and want to serve. And it literally took me about 2 years to really actually see some profit and really actually, see my ideas go. And, 4 years later, I'm here. I sold my baby truck. I built a bigger truck for more production, just more wanting to do more and more to continue to grow here. And, we have a great social media following, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just a kid from LA trying to make my stamp here in this wonderful state of Utah. It's incredible. The state that we live in, this state is an entrepreneur state for sure. If you have an idea and if you want to start a business, Utah's such a beautiful place to go ahead and make your dreams a reality. And it's something, like I said, I started from nothing. And I kind of see our business growing, and Utah has high mountains, and I know I'm climbing those mountains, and I'm slowly going to get to the top where, I can see Bomb Dilla grow, and, just trying to take our business to another level.
All right, it's that time of the podcast where we're going to talk about one of our awesome sponsors, UtahMarijuana.org. Hey, UtahMarijuana.org, they are your number one spot for all things medical marijuana, medical cannabis, CBD, and THC. I know we got a lot of listeners that don't even know that medical marijuana is legal here in Utah now, and UtahMarijuana.org is going to help you out with that. They have a team of medical cannabis experts, and they make getting your medical card super easy from your first office visit to navigating the state card application and beyond.
With over 20 compassionate and highly skilled qualified medical providers ready to help you find relief, you won't have to search for a doctor willing to recommend cannabis treatment. The patient experience team at UtahMarijuana.org is dedicated to helping you get all the way through the process so you can get your medicine legally. And right now, they're offering an exclusive discount to I Am Salt Lake listeners. Use the code GREEN25 for $25 off your first visit.
All right. And I'm not sure if we have any North Salt Lake or Bountiful area podcast listeners. Anybody up there north of Salt Lake? UtahMarijuana.org. They have a location right next door to Wholesome Co., right in Bountiful, right by Costco there. The address is 580 West, 100 North, number 4. So depending on where you're located in the valley, they have a location just for you. Hey, isn't it time that you took control of your own health? UtahMarijuana.org. Feel better. Let's go back and talk about these different quesadillas that you have available, man. You mentioned that you have five different flavors, though. And actually, I want to also mention, so on your website, I was looking, is that smaller U-Haul? That's the U-Haul you're talking about, too, on the website, right?
So that's the little U-Haul I started with.
And you've upgraded now to a bigger thing.
It's
now,
legit.
so.
Yeah, I'm working on my website right now. We just finished doing some promo videos of all of our new stuff. So yeah, I have a legit food truck now. I got a 1988 P Chevrolet, little not little, but she's a big girl. And she's from coming from where we started to where we're at now. I'm grateful. I'm humbled. Like I said, I started from the bottom, and I feel like I'm slowly working myself up. I'm trying to just continue to grow and share this passion that I have of, just like I said, I keep saying it's like I want to see people smile through food, and that's my biggest joy, and like I said, I love being in the kitchen. I can be day in and day out. I wake up in the mornings and knowing that I'm not working a 9 to 5, I'm working for myself, and I'm going out and working on a food truck, going to different places, seeing different people every day. Like, I'm living the American dream. I really am, and it's like I said, there's no greater feeling of me just going and talking to people, explaining to people, hey, look, we do quesadillas out of your ordinary. Give us a try and let me know what you think, and it's just a beautiful thing. Like, I love what I do. I really love what I do.
The quesadillas, the flavors of quesadilla, kinds of quesadillas.
I'm looking at them right now, and I want to eat all of them.
I guess we could look on the website, but we got to tell our listeners what this guy's got.
Yeah. So quesadillas. So these quesadillas, I started hot Cheetos as a kid. For us, when Dad used to give me $1. Hot Cheetos, when hot Cheetos were 99 cents, you get a nice big old bag. For Doritos were $1 back in the days, like. Hot Cheetos were always our go-to. Like, we love spicy food. We love just hot Cheetos in general.
I know I'm interrupting, but how long have spicy Cheetos been around? Because I thought they were super new. Am I just out of the loop with food?
They started, No, they've been around since the 90s.
Oh, man, I'm so out of it.
I actually follow the creator of Hot Cheetos, and his story is amazing. He's
nice.
Actually...
This guy would know, right?
No, I would. I deal with hot Cheetos. I love hot Cheetos, and it's just kind of our crazy thing that we do. But yeah, he was actually a gentleman he was a janitor that used to work in the Cheeto factory. And he's a Hispanic gentleman. He used to be a janitor. And then out of nowhere, he had this idea. And, he spoke to somebody within the Cheeto Corporation, like, hey, I want to do this. He had a vision, and Hot Cheetos came about. He's a great speaker. Also, he's a motivational speaker also, and I listen to a bunch of his stuff too, and things that I've gone, like I said, that have helped me in my life to help me grow as a young entrepreneur. But yeah, so quesadillas. So we're known, and our number one seller is the Cali Killa.
What's in the Cali Killer?
The Cali Killer. So all of our quesadillas they start off with a 10-inch raw tortilla that we get here from a local company called La Flor Tortillas. They serve, their tortillas are amazing. You can get your pre-cooked tortillas, but they're too thick. These are thin, and they come to me uncooked so that I cook them as I'm assembling, and you get the most freshest, they're amazing. 10-inch tortilla, you get cheese at the bottom, a mixture of Monterey Jack and cheddar. We put our carne asada seasoning that we get here from a local butcher here in Utah. So you get your carne asada, and then you get 3 sauces. All of our sauces are homemade. We have our chipotle sauce that we put there, our homemade guacamole and sour cream. And then you get a small, 20-ounce bag of hot Cheetos that we kind of just crush a little bit, and we put inside the quesadilla. We fold it and wait till it's nice and toasted, and then we serve it out. The hot Cheetos, a lot of people say, oh, is it spicy? Is it spicy? Or, oh, I don't like hot Cheetos. But with everything that goes in there, the cream, the sour cream and everything, you really don't feel the heat from the hot Cheetos. It's more of like a crunch factor. That's always what I tell people. You're going to get this
Sounds
crunchy.
Delicious, man.
Yeah, you're going to get this crunchy.
People who hate eggs but will eat cookies.
Yeah,
because eggs are in cookies, and cookies are delicious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So something like that. So the Cali Killer, that's our number one selling item. Honestly, our second most popular item that has come, that I released it last year on my item, is called our West Coast. Our West Coast is the same, the 10-inch tortilla with chicken, bacon crumbles, and avocado sauce and ranch. So it's like a chicken bacon avocado concept in a quesadilla. People out here go bananas for it. I mean, who doesn't love chicken bacon avocado combination? I mean, it goes good on a little sourdough bread, but hey, come try it in a quesadilla, and I guarantee you're going to be blown away.
It's really, really good because you don't have the bread washing away all of the actual flavor, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, and our quesadillas are filling. They're a little over a quarter pound each one, 10 inches, folded in half, 3-4 people. Some people can share them. Some people devour them, and they can eat 1 or 2. I'm one of those that I used to be able to eat 2, but I've gone to 1, and I'm full, and I'm good for a good 6 hours. But so we have the West Coast, the Cali Killer. Our Crazy Korean is like a teriyaki-based meat that we do inside with beer batter onion rings, teriyaki glaze sauce that we make, and sour cream. We have a Big Western, which is my meat and potatoes, my third top seller that Utah people love. They love their meat, potatoes, and barbecue out here. It's like a thing. So the Big Western is barbecue steak, sour cream. You get a little bit of tater tots inside of the quesadilla, and then we fold it, and it's literally your meat and potatoes in a nice little half a moon for you.
Do you have an off-the-wall menu item that a secret? Let me rephrase this. Do you have an off-the-wall item that you would love to put on your menu, but you're too afraid because you're like, this is too bizarre?
You know what?
I would love to try this quesadilla, but this thing is just too off the wall for me.
Yeah, you know what? I had that mindset when I was talking to my wife when I was thinking about the Cali Killer, hot Cheetos. Okay. Believe me, when I first started doing that, people were like, in LA, there's such a diverse food culture that everybody just does the most wackiest things with food, and it works.
Yeah.
When I left 4 or 5 years ago, people were putting hot Cheetos on everything you could imagine. They were making chicken bread, breading out of hot Cheetos to make hot Cheeto tenders. People were putting hot Cheetos on pizzas. They were doing burgers, and then they would dip them in a cheese sauce, and then dip them in hot Cheeto dust. it was the most incredible thing you would see on Instagram, and people were like, "Oh my God, we got to go try that." So honestly, I think my Cali Killer was like my most craziest thing. Like people were telling me, "Dude, I don't think Utah people are gonna like hot Cheetos." Like people out here, people out here know what they like, and sometimes when they see something out of the ordinary, they immediately shut down and be like, "No, I don't want to try that. No, I don't want to eat that. No, no, I'm gonna go over here and just get a plain cheeseburger." But it's like sometimes I love when those people come to my truck because I literally will challenge them to like, you know what? If you haven't ever had anything like this, let me serve you. Don't pay me. But if you think it's worth paying for, then go ahead and you pay me. And I literally, everybody I've done that to has always come back and they'll pay for the meal and then give me the most amazing tip that I could be like, "Hey, thank you. I appreciate that." But like I said, I think in general, the hot Cheeto thing was like the most craziest thing that I can come up with and to bring here to Utah. And people have grasped to it. They've been like, "Oh my God, this is really good." And then, so our quesadillas are also our like number one selling item, all of our quesadillas, but all of our items that we do, you don't have to do them in a quesadilla. You can do them on top of loaded tots, kind of like a loaded fries concept, but we use tater tots. So all those ingredients that we use for the inside of the quesadilla, you could also throw them up on top of tater tots and get this big old box of just goodness. And that's pretty much what we're known for, is like the loaded quesadillas or the loaded tater tots. But, my foundation is quesadillas.
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years, man? Would you like to eventually get yourself into like an actual physical brick and mortar type restaurant type situation? Would you like to? Of
course. Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I tell you no. But honestly, a brick and mortar would be amazing. I would definitely enjoy a brick and mortar. And, as long as I can say brick and mortar and a food truck, even though I genuinely, knowing from like my past experience of when I had a brick and mortar to a food truck now, I love the mobileness of it. I love going to different cities here in Utah, and it also helps me out to also get to know Utah more, because this is my home now. Like I love LA, but I'm not going back. Like this is where I think I'm going to retire. I'm going to have my kids, my family, grow up through everything here. So I love the fact that I can be at one place here I'm located in Davis County, but then it's like I go to Salt Lake and then I'll go into Utah County, or I go all over. So yes, I would love a storefront, but honestly, I think you'd probably see me more on the food truck than at the storefront, to be honest with you, just because I love the mobility of it and going to different places and meeting new people and all that. Not that you don't meet people coming through your windows or coming through your doors at a brick and mortar, but the thing about just traveling in general.
You just get to experience different areas.
Well, and it's kind of like a new restaurant each night because you're in a different location each night. One night you might be parked out to an outdoor concert, and then the next day you might be at a an event downtown, a street fair, and then the next day it might be just a dive bar. And I'm sure you meet different people at every one, but if you were always in the same location, it would be the same people probably coming through.
Exactly.
Really,
Oh, yeah. Even though some people always ask us, like, "Oh, are you ever at one location?" I'm like, no, I mean, one location does sound good, but, come meet us here. And if not, we'll be over here in your city. So, I love the mobility of it. I love that, just being able to travel and getting to know Utah in general for me, and just getting also to just like I said, enjoy and get to know every corner of Utah, because like I said, it's my home now. It's the state that's putting a hot plate on my table for my family, a roof over my head. So I have to try to embrace it to the best that I can.
I like your attitude, man. I like that.
Thank you.
That. What advice would you give somebody, like, let's say they're listening and they wanted to start a business, not necessarily even a food related business, but do you have any advice that you might give them?
One thing that I will say this, and I've heard it many of times, well, not a lot of people probably emphasize it, but actually like my buddy Phil from the Clutch Truck, when he talks to me, he tells me, bro, don't ever let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. And I've heard this plenty of times in other podcasts and stuff like that. I listened to Andy Frisella. Sorry, I can't pronounce his last name.
I love Andy.
Dude, I love Andy, man. He's a rock star, dude. I love I love his podcast and I love his business mentality and all that. But honestly, if I can tell anybody out there, don't ever listen to anybody, whether you have a crazy idea, whether it's something that maybe it's not going to fit here, either in the state of Utah or something. Dude, you take your idea and run to the hills until you get to the top of that hill. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it, because you can do anything you want to do. And especially in this great state of Utah, anything is possible. The community here, I love how, COVID just, we had a rough COVID year. It wasn't so much rough. I mean, it was rough, but if you know how to hustle and you know how to think outside the box when things get hard, you will survive. And this is where I kind of love my hunger and where I come from. Why I love where I'm from is that I have that hustle in me, and that I will go out and try to find it any way I can. And whether it's just going back to basics of me parking next to a McDonald's and hoping that one person will come and see me that day, or maybe 2 or 3, sky's the limit.
And you said it, like, the thing about Utah is the community is so amazing and so supportive. Yes. And I love the food truck community, because you would think everybody would be competing and everything, but everyone we talk to, like you're so supportive of each other. Yeah,
it's the opposite. I mean, at least my peers and the food trucks that I've come to know here and everything. And like I said, like I learned a lot from my elders. And like I said, Phil is like one of my people that I look up to and see what he does, and we share ideas and all that. Like, it really has to be a community thing. We got to help each other out. We got to want to see all of us grow, and I mean, maybe some of us might grow faster than others. But then, at the end of the day, that's up to you, how you run your business and how that. But as far as like, if we ever need help, or if we need, can you do this for me and I'll do this for you? The food truck community, we're there. It's awesome. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes, like, I wish I can take my truck and go somewhere in Salt Lake County and be closer to all my peers over there. But I'm in Davis County, and the food truck community is not probably as big here than Salt Lake, but I 100% agree with you. Like, it's amazing how everybody, at least that I know, and the people that I, have my circle with, like, they help out, they're there for each other, and it's a beautiful thing.
So you mostly park up in Davis County then? Is that kind of what I gather?
No, well, I mean, I want to say maybe a 70-30 split. I mean, the bread and butter is really in Salt Lake. That's where everything is really at,
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm located in Davis just because it's where I live and it's closer to my commercial kitchen. It's just a lot. It makes more sense now than some people, like I said, majority of people will stay in Salt Lake because they either live in Salt Lake or they're close to Salt Lake. So you have to have a commercial kitchen, do all that jazz down there. But I do a lot of my, like I said, 75% of my business is in Salt Lake. I do a lot of events out here and stuff like that, or, we do a lot of caterings and when things start to warm up and all that. But yeah, like I said, Salt Lake is really the hub of where everything is at, where everybody likes to hang out at.
Well, that's a good segue to, we have some Salt Lake City related questions that we ask everybody that comes through here, Ruben. So of course we got to ask you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's say your family comes up, and that's actually another thing I didn't mention. I'm from Ventura, man. So we're
nice.
You're kind of close to the valley there,
Yeah, for sure. Heck yeah.
Grew up in Ventura, right by the beach there.
Oh, Gaviota Beach was our little, sorry to cut you.
No,
I used to go to have you heard of Gaviota Beach?
It does sound familiar. Sounds familiar.
It's a little more up north than Ventura. I can't remember that, but yeah. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. No, I get it, man. I get it. It's exciting to meet a fellow Californian. But,
yes, sir.
You have family and friends that visit, right? And they're like, show us around Utah. Show me around Salt Lake City. Show me around the area. Where does Ruben take people to? I mean, do you have like a tour, like the mountains, hiking, the Salt Lake? Where do you take them to, man?
So the outdoors for sure. Okay. I mean, when anybody comes here, I've always been an outdoors person. Like growing up, also, my grandfather was a fisherman, so he used to love fishing. We used to always go fishing. Our family is literally defined on like family outings and camping, literally pick up and let's just go and take off type of thing. So when people come here, I'm literally like, let's plan a day at the lake, or let's go see a mountain that has like a waterfall or something like that. And then, go to downtown, go visit the local breweries and stuff like that, get a good bite to eat and whatnot. So definitely the outdoors. Outdoors for sure.
Any favorite local eating spots? I mean, obviously, come and grab a quesadilla from you and stuff.
My little
like
dude wants to say hi. Sorry, he just can't.
Of course, he's got to make. He's got to make his. How you doing, little guy? What's his name?
That's always okay with me.
Okay, cool. His name is Isaiah.
Isaiah. Shout out to Isaiah.
Yeah,
that's a good name. That's a good name.
Yeah, he's just hanging out. Say what's up. Say what's up. Say, how old are you? Say 3. He said 3. Yeah,
oh my
3.
gosh, so Lucy. We have a daughter who's 3, and I'm like,
local eateries.
Yeah, just something like that. You like to eat at, man.
To eat at, honestly, I really, really enjoy Purgatory.
Okay.
Have you heard of Purgatory? Yeah, Purgatory.
Yeah, they're good.
Man, that I love. I think they got like a San Francisco vibe kind of going. Like, I just love their atmosphere, their food. Whoever's in that kitchen, man, knows what they're doing. I really, really enjoy Purgatory. Every time, like I said, I've had friends or something like that. If it's on the weekends, guarantee we're going there Sunday. Like brunch time, lunchtime, anything like that. Definitely one of my go-to spots for sure.
Is there anything you would change about Salt Lake City or the area, the valley? Is there anything you would change if you had the opportunity?
Man, don't even get me started on that right there, because I'm going to let you know how it is. But these damn liquor laws need to change ASAP. I want to be able to go buy a bottle on a Sunday, or even just go to a local grocery store and go get me a bottle when I'm running low. But no. And all jokes aside, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think Utah's in a good direction where I know either the locals hate it that everybody's moving here from LA or New York, Texas, because it's such a great state. There's really nothing I can say bad about Utah. Everything since I've touched down here, I've embraced. Like, I love everything about it. The peacefulness, the community aspect, the people here. Like, people here are so friendly. Like, it's incredible how I used to just sit outside of my porch and I used to get just somebody waving at me or, hey, how you doing? How's your day? I'm like, my day's going good, Like, I mean, where I come from, you say, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, what's up? You better be careful who you're talking to because you never know, But dude, honestly, I have nothing to complain about Utah. Utah's beautiful. Utah's an amazing place. I love it.
Dude, I love your attitude with it, man. Imagine if everybody, dude, it's growing so much. I mean, you've been here for 4 years. It has grown so much over even those last 4 and 5 years, man. It's, my family moved to Utah well over 20 years ago from California. So we've been here for a minute, but, it's a change, man, from California to here. So props to you for even, enduring that change. Dude, I'm so glad I reached out to you and asked you to come on the podcast and share a little bit of your story. I know we just kind of skimmed the surface with everything, man, but is there anything that you were hoping we could talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Dude, I mean, honestly, I just, like I said, whoever's listening, anybody out there, maybe they see our Instagram page or like, oh, what is that type of thing? I'm like, really, like, I really challenge those people to just come on by and try my food and just, whether you don't like it. I mean, I know there's going to be people that are not going to like it, but I will say this. I got something for everybody. It's crazy how fast an hour can go on a podcast. Like, I think this is like the fastest hour I've gone through something in quite a while, but I have something for everybody. I literally have, when it comes to gluten-free keto options, we didn't really get to talk about a whole lot of that, but
let's talk about that for a minute. What do you got? Okay, because I got some gluten-free listeners and stuff. So let's talk about that for a second.
So if you ever come, if you're not feeling a quesadilla, what I do is I do a gluten-free, and it's also a keto, is that we handmade, we get our cheese, and we throw it on the griddle and we shape it in a tortilla form. and it's straight cheese, and it just gets nice and crispy. And then we load it up with the ingredients that you can and cannot have for allergy purposes, or you're on a diet and can't do gluten. You get this big old cheese tortilla that gets folded up with your protein, some sauces on the side, fresh pico de gallo. It literally goes bananas for the people that can't enjoy a nice hot flour tortilla. They go to that and they're just mind blown sometimes, like, whoa, I didn't know you can do that with just cheese. I'm like, yeah, you could just throw it on the griddle, let it sizzle, let it get crazy, and load it up with your favorite proteins, some good sauces that come off of our truck, and it's a good lunch or a good dinner any time of the day.
That's good to know. Like I said, even, our daughter, our 3-year-old, we try to feed her gluten-free. She just does better, with some of her allergies. And so It's nice to know these options, right? Like it's nice to know that they're out there. I mean, are you out there like quite a bit? How can people kind of keep up on your schedule that are listening?
Yeah. Social media.
You gotta love social media, man.
So, dude, I love social media. I tell everybody that comes up and they're like, "Man, your social media is crazy. Like, you do such good photography." It's literally the power of an iPhone, and you posting it, and a couple hashtags here and there, and sky's the limit. It's free. Instagram is free.
I think you must have talent, because if that was true, we'd all be famous.
Well, I know. Yeah. It also depends who comes to your truck and how many followers they have to apply you. So that's also what has helped me out also to get where I'm at also too. But social media, Instagram and Facebook are our 2 key points of where you can find us. We post our weekly schedule Sunday evenings, mid-Sundays. We post our whole weekly schedule so you can see where we're going to be at the whole week. And then we post every day before 10 a.m. on Facebook and Instagram of where we will be that day. If we're closed, we'll just post that we're closed that day. Instagram is bomb_Dilla. Facebook is bomb_Dilla. And those are our 2 key points. Like I said, Utah, man, come out. Give us a shot. Come try us out. I got something for everybody. Go let them know you heard them on the
podcast, man. Go say, hey, I heard you on I Am Salt Lake, and I want to try some of these spicy Cheetos.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we got to get our teenagers some of those. They would love it so much. Oh,
yeah.
Please, I would love to give you guys a nice hot plate. You guys come on by whenever you guys see our post or anything like that, man. Please come on by. Got something for everybody. The only really thing I don't have is our I think is the vegan world that I kind of don't really jump into. It's a very complex, you got to be careful. So that's one realm that I'm not comfortable in yet, because I don't want to disrespect anybody or feed somebody that they're not allowed to have this and this. But other than that, I think I have something for everybody. I would love Utah to come out and give us a try. Let us know what you guys think. Like I said, maybe it is for you, maybe it's not. But I've always told myself this is that when I started this business, I've always wanted to be different. I want to be different. I want to do things different or do things out of the ordinary. And I think people are slowly grasping onto our out of the ordinary ideas. And I think, like I said, Utah got some pretty high mountains, so I'm slowly climbing those mountains.
Dude, I love it.
Right on.
I love it. And seriously, go follow his Instagram and Facebook. I'll put all those links on our website with this episode too at iamsaltlake.com. That way, if people are driving or something, they can't get to it. But seriously, I'm sure, especially with summer coming up, hopefully this summer we got a little busier than last summer, and we might see at some of the farmers markets and stuff like that. Even you never know, right? So,
hopefully normality is coming back. I'm really hoping that.
I think we all want more normality.
Yes.
Chrissy has a final question, man, that she asks everybody that comes through here. So I'm going to let her ask the question. Ruben, thank you for doing the podcast with us. You have an awesome night, seriously. And best of luck with things, and let's catch up down the road, man.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Thank you so much in the most humblest, respectful way. Thank you for having me and just, giving my, little spotlight for my business out here in Utah. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome, man. Very welcome.
Oh, man, we're excited to hear about it. Are you kidding? Thanks for coming on. Before we let you go, though, I do need you to leave our listeners with either a motto or a piece of life advice that either you live by or you wish everybody else would live by.
Chase your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do anything in life. You can do anything you put your mind to. And most of all, be nice to people. we live in a crazy world right now. Be nice. Let's treat everybody with respect and just be nice, man. Like I said, this world that we're living right now in this day and age is kind of crazy, but be nice. And at least coming from me, that does go a long way. I'm gonna, like I said, I hope to put a smile on somebody's face through a hot plate of food.
Thanks again to Ruben for joining us on this episode of the podcast. All of the links that we mentioned in this conversation can be found with this episode show notes on our podcast website at iamsaltlake.com. And for this episode specifically, iamsaltlake.com/477.
Hey, and before we wrap up this week's episode of the podcast, I want to mention a couple of ways you can support the podcast, keep the podcast afloat, so to say. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It's been a while since anybody's left one, so show us some love and go in there and leave one, and we might even read it here on the podcast. Another way you could support the podcast is by becoming a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/iamsaltlake. You guys have a great week. Get out and enjoy the city, support local, and we're going to see you next week on the next episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast.
And good night, Grammy.